another update via SketchUp of the Shoji project at Kenosha Aikikai. So what we see here, starting right off the bat, is the finalized Shoji kumiko pattern. So it has 3 columns of equal distance, and then a total of 5 rows, graduating in height as it goes down from the top to the bottom. So a 4-inch row, a 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch rows all the way down. Along with now a kushita along the top and the bottom. That is the hard panel filler. Usually you only do it on the bottom, but it made a little sense to do it on the top. That might be something that members can adjust in the future. But it's a hip board to kind of help protect it along the bottom. So that is the design that we have finalized until we change it. So as we end up drifting to the next position, you've seen this before. This is the structure of the frame, the sidewalls, as well as the ceiling connections. So I worked on that with Sensei's input as well. This gives us a pretty good scale between the 2 pieces. I was really concerned about the symmetry because the north window is about a foot shorter than the south window in length, so I wanted to make sure that we would have a similar ratio that would look right. So if you look carefully along the ceiling, you can see how the posts are connected, and you can also see how the Shoji screens themselves will fit directly, and there'll be a little bit more information about that here in a moment as well. This is kind of just nice for me to see how how the relationships work and how the positions might work and how close things can be. That the Shoji itself, or the frame itself, might be a little bit different. I don't have the windows obviously in this model, which is perfectly fine in my opinion. You can see as we go through the wall a little bit, and there we are. There's a gap between the Shoji and the frame. We can adjust for that in the future. Also on the south window, there's this little pocket here that doesn't exist on the other side because of the length of the south window being a little bit larger. Also, you can see in the ceiling itself, it's maybe a little bit of a view there. There it is. The joists run parallel with the windows. As a result, there's this blocking model that I've structured in order to anchor the ceiling in a safe way, so we don't have to worry about, as a piece of furniture is falling down or somebody messing with it. And this anchoring is much more simpler to install and to take out if necessary to make adjustments. So as we glide down, you can start to see this was the layers of the ceiling. We have the acoustical tile, which is the white tile that can pop off. Those were glued directly to half-inch, I think I already mentioned this at one point, half-inch drywall. So now you can kind of see how the posts are going to connect. So 2x6s are going to connect to a 2x4, and then there's going to be that 18-degree bevel all along every other one, very similar to actually the exact same angle as the skirt that goes around the perimeter of the base, so that there's kind of a theme matching through. Some other adjustments have already been made actually to this piece, but we're on the right track, so maybe you'll notice it here in the next quick model. So so here's the base posts. You can start to see how that same 18-degree bevel works, and they accent each other. It's hopefully subtle, but we'll see. Hopefully in the next couple updates you'll be able to see the fact that we have color choices determined. And maybe I can actually have photos of what those color choices will look like versus the model here, where I'm not the greatest at matching colors. It just gives me a clean sense of what we're doing. So as we, I guess, do our final view of the whole unit, I'm going to zoom out here in a moment. Just again, to give a sense, you can see along the left-hand side, it's kind of a little closet area to kind of offset the fact that one side is larger than the other. But all the panels are still the exact same size, which helps out in the end. So my quick transition from one unit to another. Hopefully this will be nice and clean. However, this is the structure and the exact measurements that I feel that will work the best as you get closer to the glides or the Shoji, the slides, the track itself. So that's going to be constructed out of two pieces, a 3/4 inch piece of stock with a 1/4 inch piece of backing. The reason for this, as you can see, like we have the various, I mean, it's very precise. It needs 11/16 and then 3/4 inch distance between, and 11/16 is the width of the track itself for the kumiko and the stiles and the rail and the shoji pieces to actually slide through. So the reason why I have these two different units, not as illustrated as well perhaps in this, is because the plan is to do 27-inch pieces of length of the track and then longer backing board, specifically so that I don't have to try to route and work through one continuously long piece of the track and have to worry about chip out or issues with that. Furthermore, I essentially have one track unit per shoji screen, which will allow just a little bit, I feel, simplicity for making. And then the base board, backer board that's along the bottom, underneath it will help align everything and structure everything, put it in place. And the material I'm planning to use for that, a hardboard, there it is, will be designed specifically so that the hardboard itself won't warp or change. So it will just be something to help solidify everything. You see that little notch there? That is to help fit directly around the post to maximize the amount of track that we can use. There it is. Okay, so that's the top of one of the tracks that will be connected to the ceiling, and that hardboard unit, which is that strange, I don't know, almost moldy looking color, that is the backer board. That is the entire distance. And now as we come closer, we're going to have a chance to see how the shoji screens are going to fit between the two tracks of the appropriate distance apart. So I had to make a couple adjustments on these screens from the previous screen, just in the height, to make sure that it would fit appropriately. But as you can see, they're going to be tight, but not insane. So they are 1¼ inches in width at the thickest portion, but the feet themselves are only at, or I guess the little rabbits, they are themselves at 5/8, I believe. 5/8, which would be 10/16. And remember, the opening is 11/16. That means I have a 16th inch of play. You'll see it really, really well here. Hopefully, yes, a 16th inch of play between the two, which means on each side a 32nd of an inch between the sides. So this helps ensure a nice tight fit that will also allow for some movement. So there'll be some sanding that will be required, and some paste wax that can help with that. So hopefully the process goes smoothly. And what's great is that if something's not working, the sizes themselves allow me to switch them out and change them out as we go. Everything in this entire shoji project has been being constructed, designed with that in mind, that we might have to make some adjustments.